What's up, YouTube? Spook Show Lucky here. Today I'm joined with my wife, Laura.
Hey.
She's here. Guys, we want to do something different. First off, let me apologize because I am sick. I've got a cold going on. It sucks, so I know I sound crazy, but just bear with me. So we just recently watched the Pet Sematary 2018 trailer for the new movie that's coming out. This is my wife's favorite horror film, or at least one of her favorite horror films, next to Lost Boys and Jaws. So she was really excited about the remake once she heard about it, so we've kind of been following the news on it. I was a little worse off yesterday, so I didn't want to make a reaction video, but today that's kind of what we're doing, and we just wanted to kind of talk about the trailer. If you haven't seen it yet, make sure you get online, go check out the new trailer for the Pet Sematary, and see what your thoughts are. A lot of people on my list that I follow personally in the horror field and industry, and people that are making YouTube videos such as myself, have said that they liked it, they appreciated it, they thought it was cool. I don't, and I think that I definitely stopped liking it more after I did a little more research. So one of the big things right off the bat was the location setting. So all of Stephen King's novels, books, stories, movies, whatever he's done, were all set in Maine. So he said everything because that's where he's from. This was the first film that he actually shot in Maine. And he wanted to bring money to the area, bring things to that area. And so it was really cool that he actually shot this in Maine, even though it's the only one that he did in Maine after writing all these stories about Maine.
He also used a lot of the people who lived there as actors and actresses in the movie and got them to help with a lot of stuff, which was really cool too.
Right. So he used some of the local talent there, brought them together. Now the new movie they're shooting in Canada. It's not even in our country. So I don't like that. I think that Stephen King was very insistent on this film being shot in Maine, and that was the one he really drove for. So it should have been kept, and it doesn't matter if it was even on the outskirts of Maine. It didn't have to be the same shoot locations, but at least keep it in Maine, because he was so insistent of having this movie shot in Maine that I feel like they're not doing any justice there. Also, we can talk about Fred Gwynn and the new Judd character that's going to be in the movie. First off, we know that nobody can really match that acting style. That would be really hard, but without him, this film pretty much, I don't know, it's almost not even worth remaking to me, you know, without having him in there. And they changed so much. The cat is different. Even the line that he says, his famous line, the most memorable line from that movie pretty much was, "Sometimes dead is better." The way that the new actor is saying it, I don't know, it's just not doing any justice to it. And I get it, they want to remake it and kind of do something different, but when you're almost making like a carbon copy, reading off the same script, I don't know, it just doesn't work for me. What do you think about it all?
Yeah, I definitely think that nobody can replace Fred Gwynn. He was definitely my favorite out of the whole movie. Loved him, and I kind of feel like his whole character in the new one is totally different than his character in the old one. He's almost kind of, you know, acting like the Pet Sematary is terrible from the very get-go, which isn't how he acts in the original. You know, he kind of leads them there, acts like it's this kids thing, you know, it's a happy place and all that stuff, and then he lures Lewis to go bury the cat there, and then realizes that he messed up. And in the trailer, anyways, it seems like from the get-go he's saying, "Don't go there, it's bad, blah blah, whatever." So,
and that's just a trailer, so things could change when you actually watch it. It could be a lot different. But you know, even in the clip that we saw, the trucks passing by, that was actually a real experience for Stephen King. His son was almost killed, or almost hit by a truck on a busy road where he lived in Maine. So some of this is based on real life events and things like that, which is even more the shooting location. I don't know, I keep going back to that because it bothers me so much. That's almost going to make me automatically hate this film. I don't want to, because I love Pet Sematary as well, just like anybody else, but it's almost one of those movies to where you could say, why would you do it? And
it was the perfect film.
It was a very
good film. It had all of the elements. It had the scares, it had the emotion, it had the, you know, dark comedy moments.
Yeah, it pretty much played on all that, you know, and you get real emotional. The characters in it seem very emotional. The kid in it, what is his name?
Gage.
No, well, I mean his real name, the actor.
Oh.
He was a child actor, forgive me, I don't know his name, but he did a fantastic job, and I know working with kids is super hard.
And they had a hard time with him too. There was a lot of scenes that he was not comfortable doing, and they had to kind of really coach him into doing, especially the very last scene with Judd. So.
And I think I remember him saying they had a hard time dealing with the cat. Like kids and animals are supposed to be the two hardest things to work with.
I think they had like 9 different cats in the original that they worked with.
Right. So, yeah, and it was like 9 different cats. And the cat's different, which doesn't bother me as much as, like I said, some of the other elements that are missing out of it. Because the cat actually looked pretty cool to me. Church was cool when it's on right, but like this new church actually looks pretty badass. I thought it looked good.
It looks kind of cool, but making a tabby cat scary is not the same.
Well, he was all dingy, you know. Had
Yeah,
the turn
he
on.
looks cool.
I mean, he looked crazy, so I was like, okay. And you know, having a different color cat where you can really see, because the original one I thought that was maybe a little weak because all he had was the green eyes going for him. This new one, he's actually dirtied up, you know, and you can actually get that and show that it's been like a cat that's very alive and brought to life. So I thought that worked pretty well. So I wasn't even upset about the cat. It was mainly the shooting locations, the way that it seems like it's almost trying to be a digital footprint or a recopy, just straight up copy of the old movie. I don't like that. And if you're going to make something new and different, then make it completely new and completely different. At least your own take, your own spin. Some elements can be the same, but there's just some movies that I just don't feel like you should just totally try to remake. It would almost be like somebody trying to come out and do a new version of Silence of the Lambs or something to me. It's just one of those movies that you can't remake.
And some actors can't really be replaced, I feel like.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of actors I feel like in some of these original horror movies that we watch that you just can't replace. So my question is, when is it too far? When do we start seeing these movies and just kind of vaulting them and saying, hey, this is what we have. This is a precious piece of history. It doesn't need to be remade. It doesn't deserve it. Because I feel like if they put their efforts towards maybe something different, it could have worked out better. I don't know. Because there's a lot of other movies that could be remade. I feel like.
But at the same time, when I first watched the trailer for the new Pet Sematary, reading the comments, there were a lot of younger, the younger generation that didn't even know it was a remake.
Right.
They didn't even know that this movie had previously existed. So.
And that's the only cool thing to me is some of the remakes is keeping horror and the horror genre and some of these older films that we all grew up on, because I'm 30. It's keeping these alive for newer generations who might not have seen it, because it's hard for me, even being 30s. I grew up on 80s horror movies, and so it's hard for me to go back and watch 60s horror movies or 70s horror movies. I like some of them, but the old gritty film quality and stuff like that. So I imagine kids these days seeing movies like that, and they're like, they look at it the same way I do a 60s or 70s movie as how they look at an 80s or 90s movie. They're like, oh, blah, 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 blah. Or the CGI is terrible or whatever. So I get it, and it's cool to remake some of those things, but I just feel like some of them can't be replaced. It's up to us to show our kids those movies, because our kids have definitely seen Pet Sematary and watched them all.
They were terrified.
Yeah, they're 6 years old and they're terrified, but we make them watch that stuff. Or don't make them. That might be child abuse. We ask them if they want to watch these movies.
They enjoy it until bedtime.
Right. And then at bedtime it freaks them out. But that's the way it should be, guys. It's just, these movies are fun. They're bonding experiences. That's what we're all here for. That's what you guys are watching this for, is because you guys enjoy it like we do. But I don't know. I feel like this movie is going to be a reach. We're definitely going to watch it and check it out when it comes out in theaters. And if it makes it to theater, we'll see. Hopefully it will. But we're going to watch it. So I don't know. We'll just kind of go from there and see what happens. And
another thing was the Victor Pascal thing. I did see a few clips where it showed, I guess, who is supposed to be the new Victor. But I feel like in the original one, he played a pretty big part, even though he wasn't in it a ton. Like, he had a big storyline in the movie. He woke up Lewis and made him go to the cemetery and told him the ground is sour. He tried to warn him, And then even towards the end, he was in the truck with the wife.
Good night.
we got kids running in here on us. Sorry, guys.
Good night.
Good night.
All right, sorry about that, guys. We had to put the kids to bed, but They're done now. Benefits being a parent.
But anyways, you know, he was even in the very ending almost when she comes back home, and you know, he's kind of there watching over her and making sure she gets home okay and all that stuff. So, you know, I feel like he's missing, and then of course Rachel, there's no clips at all.
Didn't
of
see
Rachel.
anything of Rachel, so we'll have to see how that goes.
But maybe they're just keeping that from us, you know.
Well, what was Zelda is what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Zelda.
Yeah.
So when she's calling out for Rachel.
Yes.
Rachel. Yeah, so we didn't see any Zelda in there. Who was actually played by a man. Did you know that?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
So, I don't know. We're going to see what this thing does. Like I said, guys, we will definitely be watching it and then hopefully have a better follow-up video to this once the movie comes out. It drops in April at some point, almost 30 years after the first one came out. So, we'll see what happens. And, you know, hopefully the movie and more trailers come out. When the next trailer drops, we'll definitely do another follow-up video to this. I don't review very many trailers or reaction videos, but I kind of wanted to start, especially with some of these movies that I'm more into, you know, like Pet Sematary and some more of the obscure horror movies. So we'll definitely try to do this more and keep up to date with it. So we hope you enjoyed watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, and drop a comment below. Let us know what you thought about the trailer. We're definitely curious to hear your guys' thoughts and reactions to the trailer as well. So we'll see you later. Thank you.